Hey y'all, what's up? The time has come. Just wait for everybody to show up and get situated as I'm getting situated. And very, very cool. Make sure we're doing this right. What's up, y'all? Keith here of Ghost Cult Magazine and BDWE Media. Some of you may know me, some of you won't be meeting me for the first times. Pleased to meet you all. Very corny. I'm sure Heather gave some background on me. I'm going to post a link to some links about me and my stuff that I do. Heather, do you want to come on here with me? Do you want me to just do a solo Keefy thing? You let me know. I saw you there. You let me know what you want to do. What I thought I might do, which may or may not be pleasurable for everybody, is I recently put out a single, a brand new song. I haven't made music in many years, but it was the 20th anniversary of my main band in my musical career's debut album, and I decided to remix and put out a single, which I put on Bandcamp, which I'll share in a second. And I'm going to do a version of that song today. And I thought I would do that, and then I kind of was like, oh, you know, maybe I will, in the spirit of all these things, maybe I will perform some covers. I am not a great guitar player at all, and it's questionable whether I'm even a good singer, but there have been some genius people on here, Duncan and Sean in particular, but I started playing again. I haven't actually even performed in probably like every day I do podcasts and I do video interviews with bands, but I haven't actually performed music for anybody in 15 years at least. But I thought I might do some covers, and then, just come in, awkwardly play my one original that nobody knows. I thought that would be weird for everybody. So, we're going to see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I could have practiced more, but I have a very busy work schedule. Hopefully you can all hear me okay in this headset, because I don't have I was trying to set up my actual professional camera to link to Facebook to do this in a way that looked like pleasing with the guitar, but that's not going to work. And because I like to make things really difficult for myself, I decided to change keys of things in the last second to make it even harder for me. So I was like, oh, let's make it really fucking complicated. And then, depending on how the songs go, 2 or 3, maybe 4 tops, I don't know if they'll get to 4, I thought I would tell a story. Because one of the things that I do for my YouTube channel at Ghost Cult Magazine is this thing called War Stories with Keefy. And I thought I would do a special one for you guys that I haven't yet put out on the main channel that I was saving. But I thought I would tell you guys a unique story. At least you'll hear it first. I will probably put it up on YouTube later. But let me quickly share this bunch of links if you guys want to support me and follow some stuff that I do. If you want to hear this song that I'm going to play later in its original thrash metal form, that's going to be marginally fun for some of you. We'll see if I remember my own words to things. But that's a gang of links to my stuff right there that I just shared. You may see me look to the screen here on my right where I secretly have lyrics and things. Yeah, some things I don't need lyrics for. But yeah, I'll curate all this stuff a little bit also, because I just think it'll be fun. And I do have a couple of musical surprises that I think you will all like. If you like Heather's taste in music, you might like some of mine also. Sorry you can't see the whole guitar here. Even though I was, right before I start playing, I'll preface this by saying that I took music lessons for a long time. I was classically trained as a singer. I played bass in a bunch of heavy metal, thrash, and hardcore and death metal bands for about 10 plus years. of no great remarkability. There's a whole story on my YouTube channel. One of those war stories is about my band Grunt, of which one of those songs I will play in a bit. I'm not a naturally gifted guitar player. In fact, I'm mostly self-taught on guitar, so even some of these, I didn't really look up tabs or chords. I just kind of learned by ear some of these songs that I played for years. Possibly wrong. Don't judge me too hard. I joked on Twitter when I put my single out a couple of weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago. I joked, like, you know, music critics, right, make their living analyzing and critiquing others' music, and here I am putting out a song after many, many years, so you guys can all have that and trash me if you want to. I mean, I don't really make music anymore, but I have had some fun getting out the guitars. I have a second guitar behind me that you can't see that I'll pull out for the different tune songs, but not too in tune there, but not too bad. They're holding up pretty well. I have a small bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, and I had the AC running a lot, but I try to move the guitars to another part of the room so they didn't get trashed. But yeah, you know, this is fun. I appreciate Heather having me on, and hopefully this isn't too terrible for all of you. There may be some noise in the background here in Brooklyn. I can't do much about that. I live on a main thoroughfare, as you hear motorcycles and ambulances from time to time. But this one, most of you should know, is by one of the most popular bands of the last 30 years, certainly a favorite band of mine, and you might know this ditty, and we'll see how it goes. It's meant to have multiple singers toward the end, so you will have to sing at home if you know the words. There's a sort of sing-along part at the end that I'm going to just do the lead. So, wish me luck, and thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you. 3, 2, 1. Inside, always trying to get back inside, but it's so hard to penetrate the thick skin. About as low as I can get. I leave, but I can't forget. And still I wonder why it ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't right. About as low as she can get. She leave, but she won't regret, and still she wonders why it ain't right. It ain't right. Not right. Not right. Now we're as low as we can get. Can't leave and can't forget. We ain't right. Not right. Sing along at home. We're not right. We're not right. Well, it's hard to believe somebody tricked you when you can see you were only high. It's hard to see, so you get stoned flat on your face and into the fire. It's hard to believe somebody tricked you when you can see you were only high. It's hard to see, so you get stoned flat on your face and into the fire. to their knees to hear the softly spoken magic spell. There's a little Alice in Chains mixed with some Pink Floyd there. It's like a way to totally sully my love for two of my favorite bands ever. But that was first. That was a little rough there. But it's good to get that first thing out of the way. I love Alice in Chains, and Pink Floyd is my favorite band ever, so not the easiest thing to do. I've covered many Alice in Chains songs on lead vocals and not much on guitar. And I used to have my last actual working gigging band was a Pink Floyd tribute band, like a cover band. But we didn't look like Pink Floyd, but we sounded like 70s Pink Floyd. And we always did Time with Breathe at the end, the Breathe reprise, and did a lot of The Wall. So, a lot of fun, good times there. So, that was the first song. Let's see if I want to do... Yeah, I'll make it easy on myself. We'll do the one I know better. I have to get out a prop that I need for later, but it's a surprise. But yeah, I hope that wasn't terrible, and that gives you an idea about my voice. I go back and forth between kind of a tenor and a baritone, and I make it work. This one I won't surprise you with. This is a song I will introduce as very deep and interesting song based on this time in the world right now. And I had chosen the song before this current climate in the world with this just very strange, disturbing and upsetting 2020. But I actually thought this would be a really good song to do, and then it turned out that it was like, oh, I guess I'll do that. That makes a lot of sense. And, yeah, this is, it's interesting. I started out in music as like a heavy metal, thrash, hardcore, death metal kid, right? But as I get older, I gravitate to, even though I listen to music all the time, I listen to a lot of progressive music, Motorcycle, and I, what I'm really into now is more like Americana stuff, like Jay Jail and like solo acoustic Steve on Till of Neurosis, Scott Kelly's unplugged stuff. I find that stuff comforting and interesting, and female singers, Emma Ruth Rundle, Chelsea Wolfe. I can't make music like them, but this song kind of felt like in that vein, and so this is Redemption City by Corrosion of Conformity, and hopefully I don't fucking ruin it for you. I also only know like 6 chords total, so you'll see the similarities in all these songs. In a dream, high and wide, whatever price to keep it by your side. The steps to the top are very steep. Oh, king of the hill when all are fast asleep. Stuck in between, and I know you know what I mean. a pity. Redemption City. Broken hearts, toast another round, and drink to the lost. There's not a soul to be found. Lonely voices, come what may. Hate to see it always end this way, but I'm stuck in between, and I know you know what I mean. What a pity. Redemption City. Hey, what a pity. Redemption City. Hey, simple words remind me. Can't let it rule, it haunts me. Come back yesterday. Soul is tired and you wanna go home and close the curtain on everything you've known. The curtain is high, wide and low. Oh, it kills a dreamer, so we sing this simple song. Stuck in between, and I know you know what I mean. What a pity. Redemption City. What a pity. Redemption City. Not too terrible. I hope you appreciated that kazoo guitar solo. I've seen some other covers of the song where they just skip the guitar solo, and I feel like it's like important in the song. It was for comedy partially, but also like I can't play a guitar solo, so kazoo solo. Where are you gonna see a kazoo solo in your life in 2020? You just got one. I enjoyed that. I rather did. So, do I want to do, which one do I want to do next? I'm going to put this guitar down and pick up the other one. How's everybody doing out there? Hope that's been good for you so far. Happy 420. I also co-host the Dumb and Dumbest podcast with Matt Bacon and Curtis Dewar, and we just had our 420th episode, and I am sad to say that from Matt, who has a stoner themed podcast, and I, who am entrenched in that scene, we missed the opportunity to make 420 jokes, which makes me sad. Sorry about this. There's nothing worse than listening to a guitar player tune up, ever. But yeah, that's, music journalist, marketing professional, former band guy. You can see why I'm a former band guy and not a current band guy, but I did enjoy that. I am enjoying this. I gotta choke up on this guitar a little bit. This is a tough one. This is my original. So this is the Bandcamp link is the thrash metal version of this song. And if I were to play that version of the song, it would be like a very Motorhead, Prong, White Zombie first record, kind of like fast, simple metal song, almost like a Megadeth without, like a little technical guitar over a very simple drum and bass. Like if I was playing it the original way, you can hear it on Bandcamp. So it's like that's the kind of how the song goes. It's like very up tempo, and I was like, I'm not interested in doing that on an acoustic guitar or breaking out my electrics and making a mess audio wise in a way that you won't really appreciate the song. So I reimagined the song, and I'm considering recording it this new way as kind of I guess I would call it like a death blues, if you will, like a Americana blues version of a thrash metal song. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong about this. You tell me. This is called Eternal Damnation, and I talked a little bit about this song in my War Stories with Keith episode a few weeks back. We'll see how this goes. I hope you enjoy it. Another migraine is gripping me. Just another test on how much stress I can withstand. I need to rid myself of these ill feelings. Just another prize of in my eyes I can withstand. Force-fed to believe, nevertheless deceived. Redemption has been waived, never ever to be saved. Wherever I am, wherever I am, I know what I am. I'm eternally damned. Why they persist to make me pissed? I do not know why. I need to rid myself of these needless distractions. Surprise, surprise, right for the very eyes. I turn from victim to ballistic. Doomed right from the start. Evil thoughts tear me apart. Redemption has been waived. Never ever to be saved. Wherever I am, however I am, I know what I am. I'm eternally damned. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. I like that. Hope that was cool. So anyway, I think I'll put a pin in the playing for now. We'll see how it goes with time. I do want to get into my story. And, yeah, so, but in any case, thank you for sitting through that. It wasn't totally humiliating, and, sweating like a bank robber in here. It's about 83 degrees in New York today. But yeah, I'm gonna tell a story. This is, entitled, Don't Meet Your Heroes. This is what happens when it's not always a good idea to meet your heroes. And so, this is about the time I met Metallica in 1998, excuse me. I wish I met them in 1988, but I met them in 1998. They, in November of 1998, Metallica put out their covers album, a double covers album. Garage Inc. was a sort of takeoff on or sequel to Garage Days Revisited, which was their covers EP. After Cliff Burton died, I was a huge, and still am a huge Metallica fan from the 80s. And I love Cliff. Cliff was one of my major inspirations on the bass, along with some 70s guys, Geddy Lee, John Paul Jones, Geezer Butler. I picked up the bass, in part because of them, partially because of Cliff. I played a wah-wah pedal like Cliff. I made every band I ever had cover For Whom the Bell Tolls. and I would nail it perfectly at home or in the rehearsal room, and then we would play live, and I would like drunkenly fuck it up every time without fail. I think I played it right like once. I told that a little bit of that story again on YouTube at War Stories with Keefe at the Ghost Cult Mag on YouTube channel. But this story is Metallica was putting out Garage Inc., and they were going to have a signing. And I had been a fan for, since like 86, 85, 86. Master of Puppets was my first album I bought as a fan right when it came out. I got into them in 85. I knew of them before, but I really became a thrash fan in 85. And Garage Inc. was coming out, and they were going to do a big signing at the now long-gone Virgin Megastore. There was 2 of them in New York City at one point. Union Square, if you're familiar with New York City, which is downtown, and Times Square. So right across the street from where MTV is still. Now Viacom. And so the Virgin Megastore was going to host this big signing with Metallica. You had to go like a month. They announced it 2 months early. A month early, you had to line up to get a bracelet like you had to do in the old pre-internet day. It was nothing to sign up. No, it was barely email in that 1998. And you used to have those AOL discs. Anyway, so we signed up. You had to show up early to get your bracelet a month early. You paid for this album then, which was like, $35 for a double CD at the time. And they gave you a card and a bracelet. And you put the bracelet on when you came back. You had the card with you, and the card was good for your album that you would then get when you came to the store and then go meet the band and get it autographed by them. So we get up at like the crack of dawn, me and some friends, people actually from my band. It was like my drummer's girlfriend, who was our de facto manager, sort of, her girlfriend, and my drummer's buddy. Nobody else. Everybody wanted to go, but when it came time to like go line up and get a bracelet, nobody wanted to go. So we get our bracelets. We vow to come back. A month goes by. It's like right after Thanksgiving. So I'm going to say it's like November 30th. It's New York City in the 90s when we still had seasons and Mother Earth didn't fucking hate us. So it's freezing. It wasn't quite snowy, but it was freezing cold. And we go out there at like 3 in the morning to line up because it's like first come, first serve. And it was a threat that you might not even get to meet them or get it. Your bracelet entitled you to get in, but like, how these things go. There was definitely some instances where I went to go meet bands and they stopped doing autographs, or they stopped giving out bracelets, or they stopped whatever, ran out of CDs once. I famously went to go meet Alice in Chains when they did the Jar of Flies. This was like some years later when Jar of Flies came out, and we got shut out, so I was mad. I was pretty mad. So I didn't want to miss out on meeting my heroes. And I have many Metallica stories, but this is, got to actually meet them this time. I was at Woodstock 94. There was a whole story about how I got shut out of getting Metallica Guns N' Roses tickets, and I wept like a bitch. I was so sad. I was emo and depressed for a long time over that one. But I saw Metallica a bunch, and at one point when I started going, I'd never missed them. I went multiple times, as I really didn't have money for anything else, but like whatever I saved to go see them. So we went to go meet them. We go in the middle of the night. It's the 4 of us. We're all grumpy and freezing. We go down to the city, to Times Square. And it's brutal cold. It's like 15 degrees. We're not all dressed well. And you could bring one item to get signed besides the album. They really didn't want people bringing a trove of things. People still did. But they would allow you to get the album signed, the booklet of the album signed, and one other thing. So I was like, what do I have that I would want them to sign? My Master of Puppets vinyl? A shirt? No. I have to go big or go home, because that's the Keefe way. That's what I do. I go big. So I brought my bass guitar, which was the only bass I had at the time. And I learned all my Metallica songs on that bass, and I had bass stickers all over it. I actually should have had a photo ready to show you. It's in, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can go through my, one of my albums is called Music Is My Life. Maybe I'll come back here and post it later so you can see the bass. It's got festooned with Metallica stickers and a COC sticker on the front. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready to never play this thing again. I'm going to let them sign it, and I'll figure out what to do to get another bass later. So I bring my bass guitar. And I imagine it's not going to be a big deal. I'm following music at that point for like 15, 20 years since I'm a little kid. And I was like, people bring guitars to get signed. But apparently they were not ready for this at the Virgin Megastore. They were not prepared. And they were not prepared anyway for like Metallica fans. So a throng of fucking fans shows up. We're there early. One of the first fans online. Our group of people. Maybe we're like 15 deep of the whole place. And we wait from like 4 in the morning. They don't even open the store until 8. And Metallica had flown like on the red eye from San Francisco to New York, did the Howard Stern show, came to do the signing with us, and then they were going to do interviews all over the city all day, and then play at night in the infamous concert at Roseland, now departed, venue that is now long gone, but I loved very much. And my parents used to go on dates there. It was a dance hall, and I saw all the best shows there. Every band you can imagine. Metallica, because that's a little place at the time in the late 90s for Metallica to play when they had graduated to an arena band. They never played tiny places at that point. And they were going to play Roseland. They had a Metallica cover band open for them, and they were going to play like most of their cover albums, or some of their originals and some covers. So we wait for hours, 4 or 5 hours to get into the store. So we finally get into the store, and they don't like Metallica is ushered into another entrance. And apparently, Virgin Megastore is like 4 levels, 4 floors. And we have to go all the way down to the basement where they were going to like snake us through the whole store to the dais where Metallica was to sign autographs and meet people. So we finally warm up. It's like 9:30. And security guards are like hassling me about the bass. I'm like, it's just a bass guitar. You can check the case. Here you go. And people have their vinyls, they have flags, they have shirts. I brought my bass. Finally, at like 10 o'clock, we start getting led through the rest of the store to get down to the basement to meet them. Where, there's a lot of security, it's very tight, very decently organized. We were handed our CDs. Somebody came around and gave out, so you got your bracelet, you got your card, here's your CD. It's got my CD, have my bass. And like, that thing looks like it's going to be a problem. Unzip it and keep it ready to go, Okay, sure. So we finally get up to meet them, and the store security guard stops me. He's like, what is that? Let me see what you got there, So I quickly pull the I kept the bag like half unzipped, the gig bag, and I reach my hand in, pull the bass up by the headstock, and I literally like belt the guard in the forehead with the headstock of the bass. It was really funny, actually. And he was like stunned for a minute and mad. And then they searched my bag, and I didn't remember that I had like strings and a bass pedal. I usually have like a bass compressor and a chorus pedal in my bag, and wire cutters to cut bass strings and tuning stuff and whatever. I played fingerstyle like Cliff, no pick for me except now. But they consent to let me have the bass. I was like, we'll hold the case for you, just hold the bass guitar. I had taken the strings off smartly. And so we go up to meet them, and I am third of 4 of my 4 friends. So on top of this, our band manager decides, because Metallica had just low-key launched Blackened Records, she decides to give Lars our demo. So she didn't bring anything to sign except her CD. She brought our demo, so they, on the chance that they wouldn't let her pull the thing out. Of course, she pulls this thing out of her purse, and the security's like, whoa, what are you doing? It's a cassette tape with our, like, in hindsight, we had like a terrible early version of our logo that looked like the Metallica logo with the 2 spokes at the end coming out of the M and the A. Like, face fucking palm, dude. Like, why do we have like a logo that looks like a ripoff of their logo? But it was a pretty decent demo, and it was a foreshadowing of music that would come out on our eventual album. That song I just played a minute ago was not on there. There were some other songs we had. So Lars had also just had a son. His son Miles was just born, and he's like making goo-goo eyes. She's a very attractive girl, fairly attractive girl, that manager won't say very, but fairly. And he is like flirting with her, and she's flirting back with him. And please listen to the tape, you'll love it. Give us our phone numbers in there. Give us a call. I don't know why we did that, but we did that. So it was across the dais, giant black curtained dais. You know, riser with the band sitting on it at tables. Lots of silver and gold markers, Sharpies. And it's Lars, Kirk, Jason, and James. And this is like late 90s, load, reload, haircut Metallica. So Lars, you know, I figured like I'm not going to make a lot of speeches. I bring out my bass. He signs my jacket of my LP, my CD. I pull out my bass. He's like, "Oh, fucking cool, right? Nice to meet you, dude. Hey, dude, you know, hey, yo, I'm Lars. It's Lars. Hey, how's it going? You know, it's very Lars of him. This is before everybody hated Lars. You know, people forget that Lars essentially built Metallica by himself with James. Lars put them on the fucking map. Lars was at one point one of the greatest drummers in the world. I know it was a brief period of time, but like a lot of people give him a lot of shit, and rightly so. But like, you know, he's a fucking legend. He's a fucking legend of thrash metal. Like, you know, he deserve some respect. And I was excited to meet them. I really was. So, Kirk, for some reason, who's a guy who has guitars and plays guitar, his Sharpie was already, like, he was given, like, a dry Sharpie to begin with. And he had signed, like, maybe, you know, we were, like, maybe, like I said, 10, 15 people deep, plus the 4 of us. And his Sharpie's already dead. And he's trying to sign the body of the guitar, which doesn't make any sense. If you play guitar, you know that the guitars, most of them have a finish. My guitar, I have my Fender Squier bass, P bass, that my mother bought me in 1988. So this is 10 years I had that bass, and I was ready to retire it in the name of having Metallica autograph my bass. And Kirk's Sharpie's not working, and the guard is like, "Move it along, guy." Literally put his arm on my shoulder and started to push me down toward Jason. And Kirk goes, "Wait, I'm signing his guitar. Don't let him leave. Get me a Sharpie that works." So he gets another Sharpie, and he scribbles Kirk on it, and he shakes my hand. He's got these tiny, tiny little fingers, and it was like, again, his little like fingerless gloves and his black nail polish, and he was very goth looking with his jet black hair and his eyeliner, but he was really sweet, and he made sure to make sure that I didn't get gypped out of getting an autograph from him, which I thought was really like lovely. And then I see James and Lars as I'm getting ready to make my move over to them. And this is the two faces. Jason could not be more fucking excited. Like it was Christmas Day and he was a little kid unwrapping a G.I. Joe in the 70s. He was like making that face. And then there's James. And James is like, looked fucking miserable. And I was like very put off by this. Because like, you know, we just like went through like a little bit of an ordeal to get down here and meet them. And I'm honored to meet them. But like James is just like, you know, fucking mad, like unhappily unhappy, just fucking scowling, really scowling. I'm not exaggerating. And it really put me on my heels. I was like, man, why is he so mad? What happened to him? Like, I didn't really think too deeply about it, but I was like, I wonder what happened to him. And then I see Jason is really excited. Jason's like, dude, you have a bass. Oh my God. He gives me like a big, what's up, son? Like with a little hand jive and like a New York City kind of thing. And nobody brings a bass. That's awesome. It's like, oh, dude, thank you so much. I learned to play all the Metallica bass lines. He's like, I wrote almost none of them. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You play them now. I love Cliff. You love Cliff. Like, you do them now. And I still see James, and James is just like, oh, fuck, man, fuck my life, man. Like, James is just fucking sour looking. I'm like, why is he so mad? So I like, okay, something wrong with my brain happens, and I'm like, I'm going to give James a hard time. Hey, James. I know that in the late 90s, Metallica hated to hear anything Jason Newsted was doing outside of the band. So, Sepultura had just put out their first record without Max Cavalera, which was Nation. And Jason sang on 2 tracks, co-wrote some of the songs, and he was fucking great. And, like, you know, we all heard underground songs by Jason for years where he would... There's a very famous, not to be confused with the New York City band Irate, but there's an IR8 band that was Jason Newsted, Andreas Kisser, Igor Cavalera, and Devin Townsend that made a demo and never put out a record, if you can find it. There's also some other guys on there, like Fear Factory dudes are also on there, Dino. So Jason got around, but like Metallica frowned on him being on anyone else's album. So I was like, hey James, did you hear Jason on the new Sepultura record? He's fucking great. You should let him sing more in the band. And Jason literally turns his face to James, who's on the left of him, and goes, like that. And James is just like boiling now. I'm not signing your fucking guitar. I'm not signing your fucking guitar. And I was like, oh, man, I fucked up. All right, hey, James, I'm sorry, man. Like, this is a big deal to me. I'm sorry if I spoke out of turn. I'm just kidding. Jason's laughing his fucking dick off, right? He can't get over how funny this is. And James just kind of like begrudgingly signs a JAYMZ, as he likes to sign his stuff, and huffs. So, like, I meet, like, one of my absolute heroes, literally inspired by him. Music I make is because of Metallica and assorted bands. And, like, I literally pissed him the fuck off to the point when I had to beg him to sign my shit. And it didn't make me not a fan, because I was like, oh, I must be kind of a dick. I guess I'm a little bit of a dick. And in my late 20s, as I have to confess, I was a little bit of a dick. But also I was, like, bullied a lot as a little kid. So I was very, like, you know, like I guess there's a behavior set that I taught myself to survive, like a survival instinct, which is like I was down for so long that I wasn't going to take shit anymore from anyone, even if I needed to, like, grow up a little and take a beat and pause and look at the situation before reacting like an asshole. That song is literally about that. That Eternal Damnation song is not about heaven and hell, just like a cool sounding name. I went to community college in the Bronx in the early 90s with a guy who used to draw, like, fucked up artwork for his potential bands, and he drew a picture that said eternally damned. So I was like, oh, Eternal Damnation, that would be a good name for a band or a song. I don't really care about heaven or hell or any of that stuff, but you know, if you're like an angry 27, 28-year-old in the late 90s, you feel like damnation is a real thing in your life when you feel like snake bitten. But then also, why do you go out into the world and put negative energy out there when you meet your absolute fucking heroes? So I thought this would be a funny story to share in this case. And, you know, in hindsight, I was thrilled that I met them. I have not had another opportunity to meet anybody in Metallica since that day. I would very much like to interview them someday. It's on the bucket list. I don't know if we're big enough to actually land an interview with them, but I would like to. I would love to interview Jason. He seems to have come back on the radar during the coronavirus pandemic, where he had deactivated his social media for a long time, so I know he's doing a lot of charity stuff with one of his bands, and he's doing a lot of painting, but I wonder if he's planning like a return to metal or heavy metal at some point. I rather like the Jason Newsted EP and solo albums. You know, I'm not a big Metallica hater. I'm still a fan. There's definitely mistakes that have been made by all of them, but, like, you know, they're it's like Led Zeppelin. They could have quit after 2 records. If Metallica had quit after Injustice for All, they'd still be one of the greatest bands ever and completely unfuckwithable. I know people want to fucking shit on Saint Anger and Lulu was terrible. I am the audience Lulu was made for, and I think it's terrible. So, like, that should tell you how bad it is. If you've never heard it, please don't. I know Saint Anger just had, like, an anniversary, and I was like, ugh, I can't even. But, that's my meeting Metallica story. Looking at the clock, it's 10 of 5. I don't know if you guys want to hear another song, have me butcher another song. If you guys want to ask me some questions, if anybody wants to ask me about music marketing and social media, if anybody wants to ask me about Ghost Cult and journalism. I have interviewed over like 1,000 artists. I have been to like 6,000 shows since I'm a little boy, because my mom used to take me to like jazz concerts and classical music concerts, and then I performed. I went to a performing arts school. I played in bands for 15, 20 years. And now I've been to, you know, how many thousands of gigs as a journalist in 15 years. So I hope we still have gigs to go to when this is all over. But if anybody wants to ask me any questions or comment any further, I'm down. Duncan is here. What's up, buddy? Nick is here. Hey. Yeah, I realized, Duncan, that, like, he flew overnight from the West Coast. They did Stern at 5 a.m. He was probably tired and grumpy. Metallica back then was playing like 300 shows a year. They were like at the height of Alcoholica. You know, James was not probably well. He looked great. I mean, they looked like $1 million because they had millions of bucks. As I get older, I'm reconciling some of my behaviors from my past. I talked about this in the one episode on YouTube about my time in a band. I was like an absolute ball-breaking taskmaster. And on one hand, it made us a good band, but on the other hand, my bandmates fucking loathed me because I was like, every rehearsal should be the intensity of a show. It was never fucking an easy day, ever. Like, I made everything harder because I was a perfectionist and a control freak. And so, you know, as I retell these stories, I'm also, like, telling myself, like, it's okay, I'm a better person now. I'm a smarter person now. I'm a wiser, more mature person somewhat now. But it's like, you know, the person that wrote that Eternal Damnation song, and I don't know if you heard it, Duncan, the person that wrote that song is a different guy than today, which is why I would not, you know, like, I'm still in touch with the drummer. I'm not in touch with the other two guys in the band. We had like a falling out when I left the band, but and then I was in a second band with one of those guys. But you know, I don't know. I'm just trying to reconcile my place in this world as I approach older age, and I have a youthful spirit, but I sometimes feel a little broken down from everything. And it's been good, even though this was not great quality. It's been felt good to play guitar again and sing a little again. I sing all the time to myself, but I don't really take out my instruments and play them at all. So this last month of just kind of picking up the guitar again has been nice. You know, I enjoy it. Something about when the pick hits the string and you hear your own song. You know, I played some of my other songs. I didn't play any today, but like, except that one. But you know, I'm proud of the music I made. Some of it's not great and doesn't hold up, and some of it's cringy, but like the stuff that I wrote that's from my heart, that was like represented me at a certain time in my life, I'm very proud of. We always performed awesome, you know, owing to the fact that I was a prick to them, but like we always put on a good show. Never had a bad show that I can remember. I was pretty drunk at the time, but you know, I'm at peace now that I do journalism in place of a band, and I have one band that's sort of always lurking that it might come back, which is Salted Wounds, which is a death metal hardcore band that I'm not a real front person in. I'm sort of a backup bassist and screamer, and my BFF Omar Cordy, who's the photo editor of Ghost Cult's the drummer and mainly the leader of the band. If you hear Ghost Cult's podcasts or video interviews, you see our video interviews, you hear our podcast, there's like a song that plays at the beginning and the end of those videos. That is a Salted Wounds song from our never released late 2000s attempt at an EP. We have like most of an EP recorded that we never put out. We talked about putting out a video or something. So I love making music and I love playing live, but I've never really missed being in a band because it's kind of like a loveless, sexless marriage. It's like an endeavor that doesn't pay you back sometimes. But I do love playing. I wish that my skills were caught up to where I was like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, where I could have actually really played very well today and felt good about it. But like, I'm glad that I did it. And you know, I think having my music background helps me kind of have a good basis for what I do as a reviewer. A lot of people have never picked up an instrument, and they write critiques and they don't understand how critique works. And I went to school for journalism, and I worked in music journalism, and I was actually a professional writer before I was ever a journalist. So I feel like I have a good basis for what this entails and the right way to go about it. I'm also the editor of many other writers, so I'm very concerned with taking care not to just slaughter something that sucks because it sucks and I can say it sucks really well. That's not interesting to me. I like to like illuminate the finer points of music and a band and that experience for others to take something away from it. Maybe go support that band, maybe go buy some music based on my words. And I have interviewed, like, except for Metallica and a few others, I didn't get to interview Slayer, but I have interviewed countless other bands that I like. Even this year alone, just recently, in the last 6 weeks, I interviewed Tom G. Warrior from Triptychon and Celtic Frost. I interviewed Jacob from Converge. I interviewed Floor Jansen of Nightwish. I interviewed Sharon Den last week. I interviewed William Duvall from Alice in Chains. I have like a worldwide exclusive interview with him that very few other people have with him right now, because he had consented to do it right before the corona hit, and then it was just kind of a matter of us catching up to each other. I have a part 2 that's going to be more of a written feature coming about William. You know, I'm very lucky. I've gotten to interview a lot of my heroes: Scott Kelly, Steve Von Till, Mike Scheidt, you know, Carl Sanders of Nile, a lot of people. I've been very fortunate. Jordan Rudess of Dream Theater, like I'm Devin Townsend. So yeah, just I've been very lucky. I feel very lucky and fortunate to do what I do, and I appreciate you all sharing this time with me. If anybody doesn't have any further questions for me, maybe we will wrap this up. Yeah, Dunk, I hear you, man. I don't know if you guys want to hear one more song. It's probably not going to be very good. I will let Heather decide if she wants to hear me do one more really not good song. Let's see what shape this guitar is in here. Okay, I will do one more song and then I will go if people want to hang out like another 5 minutes. Hopefully this isn't terrible. I hope I remember the words. This is a song I love a lot by one of my favorite bands, so I really hope that I don't fucking ruin this for everybody after this experience. Alright, here goes. Haha. This is Helpless by Faith No More. Slows to a crawl, and all the poetry is lost. Without speed, life becomes certainty, and for once I'm certain I never felt better now. A garden is its own perfect world, where everything has a place. Every leaf, every stone, every speck of dirt. But where's my place? I never felt better now. I even tried to get arrested today, but every time I look the other way. I count the hours and I count the days, but for once I'm certain I never felt better. Don't want your help, I don't need your help, I don't want your help, don't need your help. Helpless, is clear. I see that it's full of dimes. For every wish, I wonder why. Why all I want is something beautiful, a place to rest. I never felt better now. Felt better now. I don't want your help. Don't need your help. Don't want your help. I don't need your help. Say, help me please someone. You found a way to make me say, help me please someone. You found a way, 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 you found a way. Found a way. Help, 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 help. That was rough, but not bad considering I really don't know the song and I literally started practicing it a week ago. But yeah, I'm glad this is in the books. I think I had a couple other songs in reserve, but I think we've heard enough from me today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Heather, you fucking rule. I deeply appreciate you. I will gladly come back on and talk about marketing and music and social media and not ruin everybody's ears and Saturday with my voice and guitar stylings. But I did have a lot of fun, and I do deeply am thankful for all the camaraderie and the support and the friendship. It goes both ways. I'm not just a person in the community begging for attention. I'm just like everybody else that has an art or a band or a small business. I'm also seeking friendship and a cohort and comrades. So I thank you all. Thanks for being here. I am Keefe. Check me out at the links. I'll see if I can find that Metallica bass autograph photo really quick where you can see it, and I'll repost it here in the links below. But thanks a bunch. Appreciate you all. Peace.